Aha, welcome everyone. As you can see, just as we start, train leaves the Alright, so, welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you who are wondering what this is, no, it is not about train, it's about Dungeons and Dragons, and more specifically, people playing Dungeons and Dragons.
It's drowning you out.
Come on, Sam. Where is it? Where's the mute button?
Just Control M. That's all you have to do.
We have a microphone with Tourette syndromes. Okay, so as I was saying, we are about playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if you're here from a previous session, well, it's a pleasure to have you back with us. If not, well, if you're here by mistake, well, if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons, sorry, this is what we're playing. If not, if you actually want to stay, you're welcome. Pull up a chair, or sit next to a window if you're on the train. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And as always, probably half an hour in, we're gonna get the other half of our audience coming from a chaotic calling. So while you're waiting for this, and while you're waiting for everything to start, just why don't say hi in chat? It helps me get the stat of how many people talked in the chat, which is always fun because eventually I will want to become self-sustaining. But hey, enough of my own problems. That's about everything we have to say before we start. Yeah, we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, so hey, if you want your name said, you just have to give us something. Anything. Even hello. That'll work. Alright, so let's get started. And as it just so happens, there's not a lot to tell about the previous sessions. The last few quests have been completed. The party had selected a variety of quests, all to just cater to their desire to become more well-known members of the garden, of this organization that had called to them, becoming known as being serious adventurers among the others adventurers were there. So they went out, they studied the lake, killed elementals, met the spirit of the lake, were scared out of their wits. Mostly our paladin was scared out of its wits, which will justify why eventually he's going to be immune to fear. And after that, they decided to go up, got thrown into a nightmarish realm, of which they got out. Then they went into a forest, of which they tried to get out, but found that they'd been flung halfway across the world, but fortunately they have a device allowing them to come back as an emergency. And then they went into a laboratory where their mind were picked apart, and it culminated in a duel with audience and a double of himself. But now everything has been settled. They're on their way back to the garden. They went back to Otanel, the largest city near where they were. They picked up a past friend, of which Fisher has a lot of questions concerning its own origin. And also, the garden has a lot of questions. Want to know how they are made, how constructs are made in this world, because it has been identified that Fisher has been pulled apart and rebuilt several times in his lifespan, and because of that, inefficiencies got
Is it
into
the same Fisher that it was in the beginning?
Yeah. He became less over time. But with someone like this, the garden would be able to study, maybe repair some of Fisher's problem, and just learn more about the construct of this world, as it has come to light that this is not a natural occurrences. The mages of this world do not know enough about magic, about the arcane, to build sentient construct intentionally. And this is where we were. The party had just gathered outside of the city with Civ and Krill, Civ being the construct and Krill being a symbiotic life form living inside Civ. Everyone was gathered outside the city, and they were making their way toward the gate leading to the garden, an extra-dimensional gate. And this is where we pick up the group. So, Jorg, audience, Fisher, and Remy, you are on your way to this gate. It is maybe 30 minutes of walk. If there's anything you'd like to do, say, scream, I don't know, for those 30 minutes. Ask questions, talk amongst one another, dance. Now is the time, otherwise I will skip right to when you get there.
Small talk.
Basically, yeah, I'm giving you an opportunity to do some small talk if you want to. If not, well, Civ is a quiet person, so he is not going to initiate much of a conversation. Alright. So, Jorg, it seems
Same.
like you were thinking about something.
I was thinking about something and I was muted. I want to ask Remy, why don't you talk?
I feel like you've asked this before.
He was told that it would be
Oh,
expanded
nice.
upon later on.
Oh yeah, you said don't ask about that. Sorry, Remy.
And I let the die tell me how he reacts, and like Rainy just stares, and immediately you start seeing, you know, like the feathers around his eyes start to get all watery.
Oh, sorry, Remy. I didn't know it was a touchy subject.
And then he punches you in the crotch.
Oh no.
Damn, audience, you didn't have to react so hard.
Yeah. You sneezed pretty hard right there.
I know he's your main
Oh,
follower, but
Rainy is walking a little bit faster.
Yeah, and and Jorg is slowing down and paying more attention to his puppy.
so Remy, why don't you talk? He's oh goodness!
Oh,
Here, puppy, come here. Oh yeah, I wanted to create your object, Jorg, but didn't have time.
that's all right.
I had bowels problem before starting the stream, so I had to choose between emptying something or creating an object. I chose emptying something. Well, no, my behind chose for me, but
Yeah, you don't get much of a choice on that one.
it's like they say here: every boss is an asshole. All right, so anything else? Jorg, you are flanked by two construct. One is Fisher, that you have gotten to know a little over the past week. The other one, however, is extremely mysterious. Tall, wearing a black cloak. You don't see any weapons on him. He's extremely agile. His head, however, looks like... Fisher integrates its armor within him. It looks like he integrated a helm, a knight's helm. So his head is basically a knight's helmet with a slightly wedged front and only a slit for eyes. But he doesn't seem to be wearing armor anywhere else, except that he has a generally dark color.
Is this the one I saw a while ago that
In the city, yes. That
Yeah.
jumped from roof to roof, who can apparently jump more than 30 feet as a standing jump.
damn,
Frogman.
I'm intimidated. How do you guys know each other? You and this. I'm referring to Fisher. I forgot Fisher's name.
He's just oh, that helps a lot for the social. How did you meet you and
Asking the Kenku why he can't speak. Forgetting somebody's name that you've been wandering around with for a bit.
forgetting the construct name.
We met when I was originally on the way to the garden. He was journeying with Iselina, who you met in the shop back there, and halfling. They were on their way. Well, the halfling also came to the garden, but he was escorting Iselina to Otanel. And we decided to tag along for a little bit, and then we got attacked, and he helped us fight them off. And yeah.
Cool.
Also, apparently he knows where we're from, or where we were made, or something.
Oh. That sounds important.
It is.
So you don't remember when you were made?
No.
All right.
My memories go back maybe. I mean, it's hard to tell because most of it is, or not, some of it is kind of stitched together weirdly. But at max, maybe like 10 years. I might be stretching it. I don't know. I've been in full control of my body for about 3.
Wow. What's it like not being in control? Were you
Sucks.
commanded by someone?
Yeah.
So, George, make an Arcana
That
roll
sounds
for
like
me,
it sucks.
please.
All right. I'm going. Ooh, 17.
17, alright. So, you don't know a lot about constructs. Already, as a basis, you're a druid, you spent most of your time in nature. Also, a lot of it in near complete solitude. So, you know that they're intentionally created, usually to be tools to help people. They can have a variety of shape and form. Some of them don't look humanoid at all. But they're usually basically machines. They don't have a will. They don't have the capability to say no. They can be extremely sophisticated. Some of them are built to be butlers in castles. So they can be very versatile. They can hold a conversation. But in the end, they cannot go against the will of, depending on how they were created, people or only its owner. For the past 100 years or so, sentient constructs have been appearing. And a lot of people are debating on this. Are they actually sentient or just a malfunction? For followers of faith, some of them you are forced to say that they must have a soul. Some. Because some of them have actually joined the ranks of faith followers. Meaning a god is supporting their action. So they must have a soul. But that is only a fraction of them. A lot of them do not want to rebind themselves to something or someone. So it's only a small fraction of them who are. And even in arcane groups, they will say that this is just part of the malfunction. You know, they stopped following people and now they're following gods. So no, it's not an actual soul. But there are some who can and say that they are sentient. And this is basically the huge problem, because you know that there are two types of construct. Some of them come into consciousness very quickly, and they usually have a more playful, innocent, jovial outlook on the world. Some of them can turn pretty bad, but generally those ones are more naive in the way they're doing things. And there are those who come into consciousness very slowly. It is just like a fishing lure, just bobbing to the surface, going back under, going back up, under, up. And only the moments that are above water, they can remember. Those take a long time to come into awareness, and a lot of those are have a darker way of seeing the world. Usually disabused, some of them victim of horrible things or have been forced to do horrible things because they are construct in armies. Some of them can be commanded to do atrocious things. This is everything you know about the situation of construct. If you had to judge by the way that the two construct walking in the group are acting right now, you'd put both of them in the second category. None of them looks really naive and joyful and bubbly in any way.
No.
And even more,
Yeah.
when you look, I'd say with your passive insight, George, what is your passive insight? Passive insight, I have it here. Okay. With your passive insight, you would say that Civ, if you have to judge, went through things so much worse than whatever Fisher went through. Because it feels like there's a dark cloud hanging above Civ all the time. Just that feeling of, oh goodness, what is under that mask? What is under that helmet?
Yeah. And the fact that it is a helmet probably means he wasn't used for good
Gardening,
purposes.
no. It is a combat helm. And Fisher, even though you are curious about him, that feeling that you've had ever since you met Civ is just not going away. Something inside of you is instinctively telling you to back off. Something is so dangerous about him.
Yeah, that 9 passive insight coming in clutch.
And yeah, and no, I know how low is your insight, and even though your insight is that low, it is coming through. But none of you, no, Jord, audience, and Remy are feeling that. You can have your own opinion about him, why he's dark, why he's so quiet, but none of you is having this instinctual back-off feeling. Go ahead.
Have you decided we're more than just machines yet?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say sorry for doubting your sentience. I've learned a lot about you guys from our interactions.
Apology accepted.
And sorry for conventionally living people subjugating you guys also.
Were you a part of that?
I was not.
And why are you apologizing for it?
I don't know, I guess I just took it for granted.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Cool. I'm glad you're sentient.
You don't have a ton of experience with people, do you?
Not a lot.
It shows.
Hello, pot. Hello, kettle.
Okay, as always, sorry for the wording. Dyslexia doesn't help me type in words really well. Fisher, Terranad said something to you. George, you see this face on Fisher. Looks like he's about to go poo.
Oh man.
Oh no, another worm's gonna come out.
It's not going to respond to that.
Alright, so, as you're all walking and sharing this strange, awkward, and bonding moment, you all... Fisher, are you trying to pull out Terranad from your chest with your weapon?
No. I am. Yeah.
I'm receiving damage roll on my D&D Beyond screen. Alright.
I am fiddling.
Considering it, just looking at... No, I'm not gonna... Alright, so... You arrive, you get to the point where you see the portal, and take out the orb, warn Syrah that everything is you are there, and just like magic, just like always, you see the portal just open up in front of you. For those of you who want a visual, have you ever played Diablo? There you have it. So, so you just arrive in front of this portal. It opens up, a bit more round than in Diablo, but it feels a bit the same. And you all step through one after the other. As you all come out, Jorg, Fisher, audience, and Remy, you come out as you usually do. However, sorry, I've been drinking too much water. The air is coming back up. Sorry. As you come out the portal, you are in a place that you've only been once before. It's the place where you were when you entered the garden first, which is right next to the garrison of the garden. As you all step out, you're greeted by an odd sound, which sounds a bit like an alarm. A bit of a shrieking sound, as if you could have a shrieking bell as a sound. And then immediately you see two of the warden coming to your as you arrive, coming to greet you, but they just stop and they take one of those tablets that they have, and they just start looking at this and the portal, and
I called ahead.
well, apparently you did, but you didn't tell us. Is it normal that the other party member has a symbiotic creature attached to it?
Oh, did I forget to mention that?
I don't know, the filters just picked up a symbiotic creature hidden within your friend.
Yeah. I mean, that's not, or at least I don't think it's normal for us, but it's normal for him.
Very well. He touches the tablet, slides a few things, hit. Alright, well, this should be alright. You see them step away, and then suddenly sieves appear in front of you, just... Interesting sensation. Why was I suspended?
Apparently I forgot to mention Krill.
Oh, yes.
They're a little jumpy, apparently.
I can understand that. So this is the place.
Yep. It's, kind of cool, I guess.
Well, it depends on your definition of cool. And I suppose these are the inhabitant of it? He points toward the two wardens.
Yep. They kind of run the place.
Oh, very well. And just as he says that, you see... Well, actually, Remy would be the one to pick them up arriving with his passive perception. Well, I guess Jorg also, because he is high enough with perception, but Remy definitely is the first one to notice. Ilitane and Teag are also arriving inside this long hallway. And just as they are entering the hallway, insight. Oh, actually,
Which one is Tag again?
Teag is the. You're not sure what race she is. She looks something between human and half elf. She is the one to refer to as a to all things that are about faith. And she was the one that you interacted with when you showed her the drawing of the lock that you had from your dreams. And she magically just transferred everything that you had drawn onto the pages of a book. So yeah, no. Insight would be Jorg. Jorg has the best insight of the group. But Remy, you perceive Ilitane and Teag arriving, and a few moments later, like 2 or 3 seconds, Jorg, you notice that Civ notices them, but some part of him is falling into a ready stance. It's barely noticeable, but he is unsettled by them arriving. Jorg Illithane is the construct who greeted you as you entered this place, and he also seems to be the one in charge of the garden.
Yeah. Should. I don't know how to make the rest of the party aware without being obvious. Because they're not. They just came out of the portal nearby, right?
No, they're
Not
coming
No,
from
they're
the other.
walking up.
They're coming from the other end of the long hallway that you just appeared in.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, I'll lean over to Fisher, and hopefully the other two are near, because I assume I'm still near Fisher, and I'll say he doesn't look too happy about them.
Who? What?
Oh, what's the construct's name?
Civ.
Civ just got a little tense when those guys showed up.
You alright, Civ?
As you see Illithane and Teag arriving, Civ just slightly turns his head toward where you are and says, "Nobody had told me I would be greeted by creatures of such potential."
I don't know what that means.
I see.
Nobody here is going to try and hurt you if that's what you're worried about.
Just as you say this, Illithane and Teag reach where the group is, and Illithane starts. "Well, this is going to be interesting. Fisher is the only other construct of your world. I am Illithane."
That you've met. That you've met.
Yes, well, I'm...
Just put a disclaimer on it.
Yes, of course. I actually just meant as part of the adventurers who had visited the garden. But yes, that would also be exact. I am the one in charge of this place. And this is Teag Dren. She is one of the students of the garden. Extremely talented student of the garden. She spends most of her time in the knowledge quarter. You hear Teag follow this with, "Yes, and I am the one who is the most intrigued about you." I am excited about this opportunity. You see Civ become even more emotionless as usual, if it's possible. Remy, with your passive perception, you would notice that slight difference in his tone of voice, which is just went maybe a full octave lower in coldness and tone. Yes. It is intriguing and unsettling. I had not been warned about all that I would see in here. But your friend, and he points toward you, Fisher, said you had only good intentions, and I believed what he said. So I guess now you should tell me what I need to do while I'm here. I do have research to finish. Immediately you hear Teag go, "Oh, Oh, that's interesting. I hope there's something we can help about this. Please, please. Share as much as you feel comfortable with us, and you are a guest here for as long as you wish, as I am sure we'll have many things to discuss. And if you will accept, we would very much like to evaluate how you're made. Passive method of evaluation, I assure you. As Fisher would tell you, none of it was harmful for him. I'm guessing it would be the same for you. Oh, I am so very excited about this. Whenever you are ready, just come and join me in the knowledge quarter. Fisher can help you find your way. I will be going back there, preparing for this. This is such an interesting day. She turns around and starts walking away, and you can see and feel the nervous anticipation that she has. She is honestly quite thrilled with this. Ilitane stays there, looking at all of you. Well, as always, while you're here, you are welcome to benefit from everything we have to offer. Your friend as well, if he wishes to stay a bit, explore. Of course, there will be a warden always, for as long as, well, you know, for how long it took for us to fully trust you. So there will be a warden close by. You most likely won't notice it. Then you see Ilitane cock his head to the one side and, huh. Well, I guess maybe you won't notice it, but he will. And he points toward Civ when he says that. Well, I am also very intrigued in knowing more about this other construct. I am also here for knowledge. I wouldn't have been placed in charge of this place if I wasn't. Apparently, gnomes have been doing stuff while you are talking. I believe this is the alarm for minor problems. I did said it was 2 rings for minor problems.
off of the distance, minutes without an accident is slowly erased and turned to 0.
Well, I would be very glad to be part of this conversation when you will have it. If not, if there is anything you'd like to share with me from your quests, I am all ears. Otherwise, you can just go about your business. The garden is a bit quiet right now. Apparently, someone has asked for help, and quite a few adventurers have answered the call. Audience, I was told by someone as I was coming here, a man with a black cloak, that you might be interested in this. Maybe you should take a peek at what you adventurers have named the quest board.
I will do so. Thank you.
Well, thank this mysterious adventurers. He seems to have his nose in a lot of things. I keep hearing adventurers talking about this man with a black cloak coming out of a shop. Apparently being there at the top of the garden and then suddenly not being there when everyone arrives. Quite mysterious. Well, I'll be going back to my business.
We did. I already told Zira about that, right? That we got ambushed.
Yes. Well, you are also not the only ones. this cult of yours has been becoming more active, and it is also about this, the call on the quest board. Apparently, quite a few adventurers have had run-ins with them, and since it is because of this that this quest has been updated, apparently quite a lot of adventurers are eager to give a little bit of payback. Anything else?
Not really, I guess.
Very well. I will be going back to my
Unless, yeah.
business.
As audience is going to pull Ilithane aside, away from the rest of the party.
All right. Well,
Every
he's
second.
starting to leave, so you just run up to.
I'll just kind of walk. I'll just kind of walk and kind of pull him aside a little bit,
Okay.
and then be like, "I thought I should mention, just so you are aware. I don't think it will be an issue as of this moment, but before we actually set out on our final quest, I did run into a powerful diviner, and since I do not yet have the protection to fully protect my thoughts or mind, I believe that this individual, who I will actually mention, who happens to be Amiali's sister, did learn the location of the garden, just so you're aware. Sorry about that, but just so you are aware of that.
Yes,
That did
yes.
happen.
She has called us to warn us about this. She's most likely just another one of the many people who have tried to divine our location. We have thwarted quite a few attempts in the past few months. One of them being something that your friend, Valtteri, had when she came in. She was carrying an orb, which was meant as a spying device. She came forward on her own. And apparently she had been coerced into bringing this orb here. Teag was actually the one responsible for removing the geas she was under. Well, actually several geas she was under.
Sure.
But
I just thought I would let you know.
thank
Nice.
you very much. We will increase the defenses. Put up a few additional scrambling wards, just to make sure. We might even change our location. As you might have surmised. The place we are currently occupying is a bit abstract, so it is easy to change place in here. Make it very hard for whomever would be watching to simply locate us again.
Also, one final thing, and I'm going to mention my experience with the champion, or the champion that seemed to be identical but yet different from me from the mirror, and be like, it seemed to be magic but also not magic. Have you ever experienced anything like this or heard about anything like this before?
No. Well, it can be different from world to world, but yes, we actually do have similar magical objects which can create these things on our own world. As you might have guessed, our arcane knowledge is very much greater than what you can find in your world. Forgive me, I'm trying to use words which do not sound too presumptuous. But yes, these magical devices are known to us. I didn't know you had them in your world. Is there any...
hunter or the cult of the hunter god at least has hands on one of them, if not more.
Well, without knowing more, it's a bit hard to tell whether or not this object can be a menace to us. We will be careful, as your tether to the garden might have been a way to exploit, a way to get to us. We'll make sure that the tether hasn't been duplicated also. But other than that, it's difficult to know what are the extent of this device abilities. Can it create more than one? Can it create several? Would it be able to encompass your entire party? Or is it just limited to you? And you said that it was the exact duplicate of you. Was it able to use your own abilities?
It was hard to tell. I don't know by exact duplicate, as obviously it was female and a blue dragonborn, but when fighting it, I felt like I was fighting like a mirror of myself in a way. Like I felt that, at least in physical and magical terms, I felt as though I was fighting like my exact equal.
A female and blue dragonborn.
She said she was the champion of the rival of my god.
An opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that is interesting. If you wish, you could go to the knowledge quarter. I'm pretty sure Tag could do this, but if not, another student. They could try and probe your mind. See if there's any information that can be recovered from this, from what you saw and felt at the moment.
Alright. I will consider checking it out. Thank you.
Yes. I'm intrigued. If you ever encounter this one again, please do tell us. An opposite. Holy warrior? An unholy warrior? What god would accept such a blind deal? Well, that is interesting questions. Thank you for bringing this up. And if you wish to pursue this further, learn more, as I said, the Knowledge Quarter can help you with this. Anything else?
That'll be all.
Very well. Thank you very much. He gives you a respectful bow and he keeps on walking. Most likely by the time that this conversation ends, you were right at the edge of the the portal, the opening which leads to the Arboretum. While this conversation was happening, Jorg, Fisher, Remy, anything you wanted to do?
Mm-mm.
Alright, so you just were walking silently with Civ toward the Arboretum, this forest-size forest in the middle of the garden.
I would be talking to Civ probably.
Okay.
What? I guess, sorry, I didn't prepare you for what this was going to be like. I didn't realize you would react in the way that you did.
Well, there is always a question of adequate preparation when you are to encounter a creature which could most likely kill everyone in sight without any problems.
I mean, there's...
Something in the garden has Tourette syndrome.
There's can, and then there's will. I don't know what you were expecting when I guess I didn't tell you a whole lot about this place, but I don't know what part of other dimensional space that's recruiting adventurers made you think they wouldn't be powerful in their own right, but
Well, different dimensions, as you call them, different shards, do not mean more advanced, do not mean more knowledgeable, do not mean more powerful. I guess if you remember so little of where you came from, this could explain why you didn't perceive any potential problem with this.
yeah. Speaking of which, could we get into that a little more? Or do you want to like sit down somewhere? There's a pretty nice forest here. There's an inn. If we keep going, I have a room. There's a lot of stuff here.
Sounds like a teenager saying, "Hey, we can go play in my room." Well, you have been its inhabitant for nearly 2 months. I believe it is more your duty to tell me what is interesting about this place. And show me if you can.
Well, it's really big. Also, it's a ship more than a place, apparently. They've kind of recruited a rather large number of adventurers of varying capability recently that we were all a part of due to a bunch of mysterious magical artifacts showing up that they didn't know about. They have a big old research area. They do a lot of crafting stuff. Basically, they're a big library, and they go around and learn stuff, but we're not allowed to access to anything that we wouldn't be able to find on this shard for like whatever reason.
Well, I've been in libraries, and just as he says that, you are arriving at the edge of the hallway, and the entire forest of the arboretum just expands in front of you. And I have been in more than one library, especially recently, and none of them look like this.
Yeah, more in the vague sense. Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare to anything. But, yeah. It's, I don't know, I've just kind of come to roll with it.
And just as you say that, you hear two gnome going by the, hey, they're multiplying! We got 2 now! Shut up. Come on, that's funny.
They're really the only downside. But yeah, so I guess they were able to study me and figured out a good deal of, or at least this body's past history, even though my memory only goes back a handful of years. But
Well, you are fortunate.
what is it exactly that you know?
Well, that is a bit of a vague question.
Also, are Jorg and Raimi still chilling?
They're most likely just a few steps behind you. I don't think they would have just stayed there at the entrance portal, especially after Jorg starting a conversation saying, "Why can't you talk?"
I'll look back at them and just ask, could you guys give us some space?
Yeah.
I'll meet up with you
Well-
later.
Sounds good. I'll back off. I'm gonna go try to find audience, maybe.
Well, most likely, unless audience decided to follow.
Audience is like 10 feet in front of me.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, I
Unless
thought
you
it
decided to follow Elithane, you probably just arrive in the Arboretum, and Fisher said, "Could you just give us a little bit of privacy? Back off." All right. You turn around and you see audience there, looking at all of you, sort of. What took you so long? In his face.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It's when deciding between listening in on Fisher's conversation and following audience. I feel like there's an obvious decision here, but
Well, with your passive perception, there is a possibility of hearing most of what just happened right now. Also, with your passive perception, you probably heard the entire conversation between Fisher and Civ as they were walking toward the Arboretum.
he just pretends he didn't hear it. I'll even roll a deception just for fun.
Can you beat a 9?
I can definitely beat a 9.
Okay, you're good.
Well, depends on if you rolled a 9 or if.
Audience is gonna go check out the quest board. I will turn to the party. I'll be like, I'm gonna go check out the quest board Elithane mentioned. There's something I might be quite interested on it. So
Ooh. Jorg will follow.
Yeah. I
And then-
guess. Let me know what we've agreed to when I catch up with you guys again.
yeah, and then I guess I'll
Might
look at
wanna-
the others. Are we trying to sell any of the swords or shields we picked up? Like, does everyone have what they want of those? Since I think I have most of them in my portal. Is there anything you guys want from my portal right now, or the interdimensional space?
Fisher, you hear Terranet
No.
say, "I want to be there when they try and sell off the leg. I want to see their reaction."
Not now, because I couldn't carry it with me, but I'm gonna need that leg.
Okay. Don't try and sell the leg. Got it.
Yeah.
What if the gnomes offer me like 100 plat for it?
Well, duh.
Okay. I'm just
I mean,
looking
just
at
don't-
the price.
Just don't try and sell it to some blacksmith
Okay.
who's gonna be very confused.
What if he tries to give me 100 plat for it?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. just checking.
Oh goodness, this is gonna be weird. All right. All right,
And
then.
then after they all walk off,
Yeah. So Jorg, Audience,
well,
and Remy are going toward the garden to see what has been going on with the quest, and then going back to the merchant quarter. Meanwhile, yeah, you can go ahead, Fisher. I'm gonna let you.
I guess more specifically, you keep mentioning. Oh, you seem surprised that I don't remember as far back as you do. So I just want to know where you know me from. Or
Well, I would have been surprised. The only way to escape the island is to succeed the tests, and only someone who can think for itself could succeed them.
the island.
3 islands, with a large one, with a large spire at the center of them, on a small island, all connected through a railway. And 12 small islands, placed at regular intervals on the outside.
I don't happen to remember anything
No.
about this. Yeah, no.
The only way to
And-
leave them is to succeed a test to see if you can, if you have been rehabilitated, they say. But the general population only says if you are worthy of it, if you are a good person. And so for someone of the islands to be outside and not remember the islands is unusual.
How do you know that's where I'm from?
Because of your
Did you-
emblem.
When the people here, how old are you? In both senses of the question.
I can remember several hundred years, but only 100 or so. Of which I can control my action. Not always, just some of them. They said that my design was made over 1,000 years ago, when the wardens of the islands were nearly gone and they needed help to maintain the population. They made several models. and mass-produce them?
Well, when I first came here, one of the things I asked was for them to figure out how old I was. They were actually surprisingly capable in doing that. Apparently, this body, at least, is approximately 3,000 years old and has been rebuilt many times.
Then you would have been among the first few generations. You would have been there in the beginning of the island's history.
They said originally I was made for maintenance, and then some kind of combat role, then probably some kind of hazardous material transportation, before I ended up as a dock worker somewhere, and then moved on to fishing. But they did say the first couple times I was repurposed, it was done expertly well, which I guess could mean I was repurposed while I was still on the islands. But they also said the last few more recent times have been much worse.
Well, not necessarily. The wardens have been growing fewer in numbers. They have been forced to recruit in the general population. Your last few refits might have only been made by those people who had so much less knowledge than the original ones.
Do these islands have a name?
Long ago they were only called the Misty Isles. You can make a history check on that if you want.
And that is the one Terranad is currently set to. So that's dirty 20 or 23 with Terranad.
Okay. You think about this for a moment, and the name Misty Isles rings a bell. But what you've heard from this is at the same time different than what Civ is saying, and also fits some of the description. Very long time ago, and this is knowledge that Terranad is helping you piece together. As you go, oh yeah, Misty Isles, and then Terranad says, the penal colony? And then you start to remember, yes, you've read about something like this. Close to the beginning of this world history. Only a few decades, maybe 100 or 200 years after the Shattering, when everything started to come together again. Our population started to try and rebuild bits and pieces of society. There was a penal colony, a series of islands that was designated, and they sent the worst of what had survived there. They closed it with magic, making sure that no one could come out, but people could go in. But your history states that after several hundred years, maybe 1,000 years, they stopped sending people in the penal colony. All of these problematic people, they just weren't there anymore. They just, and society started to rebuild. For quite a while, they kept sending people that they didn't want to in these isles, but eventually they just stopped. And they also stopped sending people to mend the island, because it has always been believed that the people being sent there were so destructive, so self-destructive, that they just would never be able to build anything from this. So it was just assumed that this colony would just burn itself out. There were a few stories of ships disappearing near the isles, and as the commercial lane started to drift away, the tales of ship disappearing in there just stopped being part of the folklore, and the Misty Isles has ever since only been a story.
Approximately how long ago was the shattering?
The shattering is, I think, 4,500 years ago. Exactly. Hold on. I have it here. The shattering is believed to have occurred 4,097 years ago.
Okay. Well, then I guess did you escape while you were sentient,
Yes.
or did that happen before?
That would be the only way
Okay.
someone could leave. You have to undergo the challenges to prove that you can reintegrate the world, and you can't do so unless you can think for yourself.
So nothing could leave.
No,
Okay.
unless you can prove yourself.
Even if, I mean, would a construct without a soul yet count as something that would get caught by the magic?
Well, the magic would prevent you from leaving, of course, because if you have been built during the first few generations, it means you are most likely assigned to prisoner transfer of the most dangerous kind. Those prisoners always arrived by sea. You would have had to be working on a prisoner transfer ship. One that would have sank, been lost.
Wouldn't have been the first
There.
sinking ship I've been on, that is.
Well, if this is so, I am sorry to hear this.
Or I guess it would have been the first. Now that I think about it. Not the last. Not important. Sorry.
There have been very few missing ships. Because every time a ship left, there were no prisoners on them. That is very important. People leaving would have had to have either permission from the wardens or been let through by the barrier. But the barrier hasn't been opened by the wardens for thousands of years.
Huh. I guess. How did you get out on your own?
I completed the challenge. I proved to the barrier that I wasn't a problem to the world outside.
Guess that's reassuring. Huh.
At least it was for the barrier.
I guess. I mean, is it like, are there people still there? Because, like, from what I know of the Misty Isle, that's like, it was abandoned, supposedly, like a really long time ago, to die off. Has that not happened?
We understand that that was the intention. However, the barrier was also set to take in disruptive elements. And so it gobbled up ships, pirate ships, attacking merchants. This drastically increased the population to the point of becoming self-sustaining. Of course, there were centuries of chaos before a society was born from this. Decades, if not centuries, of just faction forming, killing one another, and then killing the weakest faction, and then letting one faction weaken itself by attacking others, and then itself being attacked and reabsorbed. The most dangerous of elements becoming tyrants. But eventually so many people arrived and people started to be born. They weren't violent and oppressive. But the barrier never let any of them go. No one dares to try this challenge because it peers into you, tells you what is, tells you truth that you do not necessarily want to hear. And so people are afraid of the barrier. And they don't try to leave.
Then I guess that's a good thing.
Who knows?
Is that
The wardens still watch over the island. However, the quantity of living wardens has significantly been reduced. They were forced to start picking in the population to find replacement, which drastically lowered the knowledge pool that they had and their capability to control the population. So they created us.
Is the barrier possibly breaking down something we should be worried about?
Last time I was there, no. The barrier wasn't breaking down in any ways. But I've been absent for...
But if the wardens were dying out, so to speak.
One of them isn't. One of them found a way. keep himself alive.
That sounds ominous. We talking through
He is
like necromancy or mechanical? I don't know.
necromancy is easy in the Misty Isles because of the mist. But I don't think he is. He builds creatures like us. The Reavers are its most menacing creations. We have a saying in the Isles. If you hear moaning, just walk away. If you hear shuffling, hide. If you hear moaning and shuffling, run as if your life depended on it, because it will.
Well, I guess I'm glad my memory doesn't go back as far as yours.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing it up or letting me know. Sorry to make you think about it again.
It is normal that you would like to know.
I guess, would you mind if my friends of the garden here were to run some tests on you as well? They seem very intrigued at the idea of
He looks around.
gaining sentience on our own.
He looks around, surrounding the arboretum where you just exited. Yes, and I have the impression that this Teag is the most intrigued about me.
I mean, I'm not great at reading people, but even I could tell she was a little excited. They seemed kind of bummed that I was the only one that showed up
Well, if
originally.
they are an entire society of construct, I guess it makes sense that they are curious about other iteration of their society in other worlds.
Yeah, I guess so. They seem more surprised at, I guess, when they create or were created or create themselves, they imbue them with sentience from the start. So they think it's weird that we weren't created for that and yet have found it.
I wonder if they have information on her voice.
What?
When you say what, he turns his head toward you. You haven't heard her voice.
I have not.
I see.
I don't think so. Who?
One day you might. She calls from far away. I don't know why.
How?
From inside of you. when everything is calm inside of you, when the world does not interfere with your own perception, you can sometimes hear a
Succeed on a
voice.
wisdom save. Sorry. I just, yeah. I don't. The only voice I hear is sarcastic, a little rude, and not very helpful most of the time.
You hear Terranad say something, but I'm more focused on Civ right now. Well,
I mean,
maybe one day
they
you
could-
will hear her.
it's probably something they could help with. They seem to be pretty good at what they do here.
Right.
If you're willing to do that, I can show us the way to the lab.
Well, unless there is something you absolutely want me to see before going, then yes, show the way.
Okay. I guess then we'll head off to the library.
All right. Then you silently move off toward the knowledge quarter. While this is happening, Jorg, Audience, and Remy had more than enough time to complete their walk toward the other side of the Arboretum and enter the large inn. And as you enter, you notice quite easily that it is empty in there. There's a lot of gnomes and not a lot of adventurers right now.
Audience will walk over toward the quest board because he wants to know where the party's at.
Maybe
He wants to join the ruckus.
Maybe just starts making cricket noises.
I think you got the wrong animal. That sounded like a train noise. I'm so sorry, audience. It's just
Every
funny.
time I unmute, it hasn't been here this entire time I've muted. I unmute to say one thing and it comes by again.
I don't mind. It's just so well placed. It's just that train has a wicked sense of humor.
No. Yeah. Randy opens his mouth, gets really confused by the sound that comes out, closes it, and looks around just like...
Wrong sound. That never happened before.
One of the wardens is like, "Oh, I remember that noise." We're just like,
All right. So, yes, your cricket sound, although they were sounding a bit weird, do resonate inside of the garden. The garden is quite empty right now. Jorg, you spent a lot more time in the garden, consecutive days in the garden than the others of the party. So, even for you, it's a bit quiet. There usually are at least a few adventurers. There usually are some of the more experienced at least one of them there. But right now, there's no one. A few unknown adventurers, people you just saw but never talked to. But those that attract attention, they're not here right now. Which sort of leave this inn very quiet compared to usual. I mean, it's full of gnomes, but usually it's full of gnomes and adventurers, so...
This is weirdly quiet. Have you guys seen it like this before?
I have not. I've always seen this as quite lively and filled with adventures.
Me too. I spent a while in this inn too.
Well, perhaps this will answer our questions. Walk over to the quest board.
So you make your way up, and as you're going up, you do notice that there is a hooded figure on the last floor of the garden. He's looking at the board right now. However, as you reach the third floor, he's not there anymore. But there's a quest that has been left open. It is a quest that you are aware of. You've been asked to be kept informed about the development of this quest.
I'm rolling perception real quick to see where he tried to go. I rolled a 9. I doubt I'm going to be able to see him.
Nope. You did not see where he exited. And just so that you know, Remy, even with your passive perception as it is right now,
I assumed as much.
You did not
You would have told me.
Oh, I was ready to roll the nat 20. You to be like, you still don't see it. And me to be like, rip.
Oh, no.
I mean, you know what, just for fun, let's see if, you know what, for fun, let's just see, it's like, you know, Remy looks around. Okay. I actually was not expecting it that high of a roll, but wait, what's my new perception? I did level up. Oh, right, duh, 9. Although honestly, if this guy has something higher than a 28, I will be impressed.
Man's rocking at 30. 30 like fell
Hey, it's entirely possible.
No, it's just, I find it funny because you said if he rolled better than a 28, would a 29 do? I rolled a 19.
So basically nothing short of a nat 20 would have let me see him. Yeah, continue. It's like Ravy's just like really confused. Like, there you go.
Remy sees everything, like every speck of dust on the walls, but he can't see. Like,
You almost saw it just as you saw audience looking up, and you started to focus really well on that, and you were paying attention. You saw him move from the balcony, and just as you arrived, you can swear you saw the corner of a cloak disappearing in the shadows. But as you focus again, no, he's not there. Maybe I imagined it, but damn, he's good.
It's like Ravi just kind of like nods, like game recognized game.
the man is stealthy.
Well, although this is slightly frustrating, this narrows slightly what class he might be. He is most likely not a warrior or a barbarian.
It's like 2 classes down, 11 to go.
Well, paladin also, too much armor, you know.
Yeah. I don't think it's a paladin.
10 to go.
Or a cleric.
9 to go.
Or a wizard. I mean, I guess, well, he could have. Maybe. Probably not, though.
I mean, hey, like let's not leave out the blade singers. Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was like, technically.
Alright.
But yeah.
So, as you...
Sorry, continue, please.
That's alright. As you arrive, you see the board, and you see the quest that... good lord, where is her name?
Red-haired girl.
Yes!
I know who you're talking about.
Here it is. Kathan. It is the quest that she had been sent on to find where this base of operation that was being built in the mountains was supposed to be. The quest has drastically changed. It went from whatever color it was, depending on who's touching it, to red for the last person who was touching it. a lot of information has been added. Kaiten has asked for help from as many people that are available because she has found a region in the mountain that is dead silent. She can't divine anything in there, and every time she tries to get closer, she gets attacked by members of the cult. The area is large. There are several towns, and even one or two cities. You get the feeling that it is a mountain kingdom that is hidden in there. There is even a monastery in there. The entire area is most likely where they are. She managed to narrow it to a specific, maybe 5 or 6 day of travel wide area in the middle of the mountains where they probably are. But she's going to need help to find this, specifically since she has been attacked several times every time she tries to enter this place. And it is dangerous because every time she tried and get to the nearest village, they're all abandoned from a certain point as you're walking inside the mountains. They're abandoned. There are signs of having been a struggle. And she always gets attacked, usually near nightfall. So she is requesting help from anyone who wants a piece of them or believe that they have the necessary experience to adventure in there and not get killed.
Audience is gonna casually touch the quest and see what color it turns.
Just like,
Poke.
The quest stays red. However, one thing you do notice when you click on this place, you see that there are a few adventurers currently traveling toward there, and she's waiting for them to arrive. But the name list includes Kodown, who is the Dragonborn that was with your small group of people who had witnessed the creature. The one that you found intriguing because he was so composed throughout the entire thing. You see the name of Kazan, which you haven't met him, but you recognize what it sounds like. It does sound like a Dragonborn name. You see the Harkahen, which is also a name that sounds a bit Dragonborn-like. So basically every single Dragonborn in the garden is there right now.
Oh, well, I can't miss it. I can't be.
You recognize Longshot, the friend of oh goodness, I forgot his name. Tobiyashi, is that it? Yeah. That came from the same monastery. You see that Courant, the turtle, is on his way there.
Oh, I like Courant. He's cool.
You see the names of Demis and Lucen, which you know are two humans, most likely related. Thief, ranger, this sort of stuff. You recognize Olnath, who is a bard, who was playing a few times in the human bard, who's playing quite a few times in this place. You see Neisa, which is the elven bard, female bard, who is very often with Corinth.
Is Bertrand headed up there? The warrior guy I met?
You see his name on the list. You see also Nialuka, the ranger gnome who came in the garden at the same time as you did. You see Cone Baron, which you recognize the resonance of the name as being gnomish. You did see another gnome who distinguished himself. You called it the Gunsman, but audience would have been able to say Gunsman.
So I'm just hearing the entire garden's just basically headed up.
Most of the most important members of the garden are there. You see Sarn is on his way there.
The A team.
Listen, they could use a B team, maybe.
You see a few names that you don't recognize. But you see one that's just... hold on. One of you... Oh, yeah, sure. The only one of you who would have been able to recognize this name isn't on the party. So. No, you can't read that. No, you can't identify this name. Remy? No, Remy, you can't identify this name. Alright, so there are quite a few names that you don't recognize. The only one that you... Oh, yeah. You recognize the name of Siaraf, which you know is a half-elven archer. You don't know exactly what class she is. You just know that she is proficient as heck with this bow. And she can infuse elemental energy in her arrows.
I think I've seen her shoot once. I think I saw her training once. That's about it.
Yeah.
I noticed her. She was pretty. I mean, audience.
The rest of the name, like I said, you don't recognize them. You've never talked to those people. Oh yeah, the last one that you do recognize. You recognize it because Amiali told you about him. Told you not to make fun of his name in front of him. It's a dwarf named Kavin. Kahvim. She just told you don't make fun of his name. Mm-hmm. The last person who did was admitted in the infirmary for necrotic energy in a very sensitive place. In reach for a dwarf.
Damn it. I wish that car was still with us. Oh well. Alright. Okay. So audience is gonna turn to the other members and be like, so you guys don't have to come with me, but I'm going up there. I'm not missing out on this.
No, I'm coming with you.
Then everyone turns toward Remy.
Remy looks down a little bit, but then looks back at audience, and then pulls out his medallion
for the dragon.
All right. Information written is that everyone is gathering in Otanel, and those who can't walk, those who can't use magic to transport directly there, are going to walk from Otanel to Crossroad, which is a town, a significant town, one of the first ones to be established on Estron, and then going toward this small little village at the foot of the mountain where the rest of the expedition is waiting for everyone.
I mean, some of us can summon a steed now to ride there. We're not gonna...
You only need the cart now. You don't need the horse that goes with the cart.
Audience can look very majestic now.
Right.
Jorg can turn into a steed.
For a limited time.
Mm-hmm. Just be like, see you, Remy and Fisher. Just take off.
All right. All right. Well, we are a bit above our usual break, so we can take our break right now. Try and be there in as close as possible to 10 minutes. I'm even going to start a little timer to make sure that we don't stay there 15 minutes and only have 40 minutes of gameplay when we come back. So, all right. So, as everyone seems to be in agreement,
Audience will add his name to the list.
we finished this half of the stream with audience adding the name to the list, and you just see audience, Jordan, Remy, Fisher appearing in the list of people involved in this massive endeavor. All right. So we're going to be back in hopefully 9.5 minutes. So that way we're going to be there in 10 minutes. So all right. See you all in 10 minutes. Bye. Welcome back, everyone. So, I hope you had a good break. I hope it was interesting, and I hope you click follow while you were on break, because we're still trying to reach the 50 followers. If you're not, I curse your soul.
What's wrong with you?
If you don't follow, when I die, I'm coming back to haunt you.
It's ghosts.
All right. Let's just hope I don't get banned for saying something like this to the viewers. All right. So, as audience volunteered the group, and Fisher, who doesn't know he's been volunteered for this quest, and Fisher...
He will be voluntold.
Yeah, I told them when they left to let me know what they signed me up for. Which is
like
kind
said,
of giving permission.
Yeah, it's like we said, you'll be voluntold.
Yeah.
All right, so as you, Jorg, audience, and Remy are preparing, most likely, to get onto this adventure, we have Fisher, who is making his way toward the Knowledge Quarter. So, most likely, Jorg, audience, and Remy, you want to at least go to the Industrial Quarter, the Merchant Quarter, the Research Quarter, and more like Research and Development Quarter, to sell off a few things, or maybe buy a few things. And while that is happening, Fisher is going to the Knowledge Quarter. Well, we were just with Jorg, audience, and Remy, so let's see what Fisher wants to do as he enters the Knowledge Quarter.
I mean, we were just gonna go to the library,
Okay.
and then up to the top
Okay.
where the lab is.
The moment that you set foot inside of the Knowledge Quarter, it's usually not the kind of greeting that you're used to, but it's definitely a pleasant one, as the moment you step foot inside of the Knowledge Quarter, literally, your foot just touched the floor. You hear the voice of Teag above you saying, "Ha ha ha, you came! I wasn't expecting you so soon, but it is a good surprise. Everything is ready." You look up and you see her. She's sort of 2 floors higher than you, just looking down from a balcony.
Hi. Yeah, I guess we'll walk up.
You hear Terranad just go, "Well, she's perceptive."
Wouldn't be surprised if she'd been waiting there for the past however long it took us to get here.
Well, she's not a machine. Usually people get tired of waiting.
Nothing about her screams tired.
No, right now, no. She just looks very excited about this. Alright, so you make your way up, and you see that she has brought several devices. A lot of them looks like small orbs. Some of them looks like... You want to say a wand, but then again you say, oh, wand usually don't have this thing at the end of it, which looks like a hook. A few tablets, a few books. Well, any questions before we start?
Not really.
All right. So, dear guest, please sit down. You see Sev just looks at you for a moment. Looks at Tayag. Sits down. All right. So, she looks at you, Fisher. Is there any part of this that you want to do first? I don't know, maybe you have some questions to be answered? Because the moment I start this, he's going to go a bit offline for, well, just as long as you were offline. While we were doing this.
Not really. We had a bit of a chat on the way over.
Okay. Is there any accommodation that I should know for your symbiotic creature? Here, Civ. No, he can take care of himself. Would you like to hear him just before we put you under? Hear him? Yes. He doesn't look like too complex of a creature. Maybe you'd be interested in hearing his thoughts. What about you, Fisher? Would you like to hear the thoughts of a symbiotic creature?
That seems a bit personal.
Oh, okay, well. There's not a lot of personal stuff here with living with gnomes, so.
Yeah. I guess that's up to you, Civ.
Well, as I'm most likely going to be offline, I do not mind, but I doubt there is a lot of interesting things you would like to share. Usually he seems very content with just waiting. But I do not mind.
I guess it'd be kind of cool then.
Alright, let's see. Is there a way to access it? And Civ just raises his hand and you see the small creature just form on his hand. Crystalline creature. That is interesting. Reminds me of something else. Alright, hold on. She takes a sphere. She draws a little pattern on it. And places it above. Lets it go. And you see the sphere just floating there. Let's see what's inside the mind of this creature. She touches the sphere and you hear what's going on. A lot of people. A lot of new creatures. Threat assessment. Mechanical creatures. Significant problem. Highly potent energy. Ugh. What about her? She's literally off the scales. I can't probe her. Well, that's the most dangerous one. I'm gonna have to be careful about this. What about him? No. He turns in your direction when he says that. What about him now? Seems average. And then he turns toward one of the wardens. Oh, this one's bigger. Medium threat. I'm pretty sure we can take him on. But her? And what about the other one when he came in? He's not here. Pretty sure you could kill everyone if you wanted to. Gonna have to be careful about this. Well, he's got one-track mind about security. Well, if you want to keep hearing him, I don't mind leaving this open as I'm starting.
Seems unnecessary.
What about you, mister? I think it sums up pretty well everything he thinks about. Alright then. She just touches the orb and you see it go off. She moves it away. Oh, that was interesting. Crystalline creature. Also a bit of analysis. And she takes one of the tablets and looks at it. And you see all of a whole bunch of information appearing on it. Yes. Crystalline creature. Grows and ungrows. It doesn't move, actually. It just grows and ungrows itself. Oh, that's interesting. An anomalous element. Oh, that's what makes the blue color. It's like blue eyes. It's an anonymous element. What's the normal color of these creature? You see some... You hear an annoyance in his voice. As if he doesn't want to say it, but... Red. Oh, interesting. Oh, that creates quite a difference. Alright, well, we've got a weird guess and an anomalous symbiont. That's very interesting. I'm just gonna have to study this a little bit further later on. Alright, so, Mister, and she takes on 2 orbs, she plays them up, let them go, you see them floating, and then you see them starting to glow slightly. This shouldn't hurt, but you're a different creature altogether. So, shouldn't hurt, didn't hurt your friend here. Let's start. She takes one of the tablets, she hits a few glowing symbols on it, and then you just see the light in Civ's slit. He just stays there, unmoving. Well, as you remember, it took a few hours. If you have a few other things you'd like to do, we're gonna figure out everything we can about him, how he's made, make a copy of his making, compare it to yours. Maybe we can try and repair some of the damages that you've incurred from excessive refitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did say we were made in the same place, although I was about 2,000 years before him.
No.
But,
yeah. A distant cousin. Or maybe a younger brother.
Previous model is closer to what he put it.
Oh, I can see why he would think something like this. It's very common in a lot of worlds where there are a lot of mechanical being to adopt a specific language. It's not all worlds. Some keep a very organic way of talking about things. And this marking on his shoulder, CIV. Everything else has been scratched scratched off. I wonder what this means.
That's what he goes by.
Well, yeah, but as you can see, and she points out toward the end, something here has been scratched off. Like with a grounder. Grinder, sorry.
Grinder.
Yeah. Different things. Sorry. I wonder what was in there first. And he also used the same thing at the bottom of this, sort of to hide something. There's supposed to be something right after the V. Sort of like a dot. Usually letters written in capital format. It usually means it's the beginning of something else. Civ? Could it be Civ? I don't know.
You thinking it's short for something?
Maybe? Maybe he didn't want...
Civilian?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to remember this. This is why he scratched it off. Bad memory. He didn't want to be reminded of it. Or wanted to hide it.
Recommend that if it is apparent to you that it was him who ground it off, to not bring it up with him, even if you figure out what it was.
Yeah. If he doesn't want to talk about it, it's good. It's good. You know, we can respect the cultures of others. We've certainly seen a lot of them. These halls are used to traveling. And she looks at her hands. It doesn't show, but I've done quite a lot of research in my life. I'm eager to see what I'm going to learn from this.
Yeah, well, good luck. And I'll head out and go find everybody else.
So, are you going to the inn? Are you going to the commercial quarters? Or are you going back to the Arboretum in case they're there? That's where they were when you left them, but...
How long does it take?
For you, it's probably been around an hour now.
How far is... I'm trying to remember. I think I kind of made a map at one point. Where I'm at compared to the industrial district versus the inn?
Actually, both of them are the next one over. If you go west, you end up in the...
between them, then?
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to take roughly the same time to get to each.
I just head straight to the industrial district then.
Okay. So, Jorg, Audience, and Remy, you left from the tavern. So that would take you about an hour to walk all the way to the commercial quarters. But as you get there, yeah, there's not a lot of adventurers, but it's mostly inhabited by gnomes, so there's always something happening. On the commercial quarter, where they sell the stuff, it's a bit quiet, but especially where there's food, gnomes are going there happily buying foods. Clothes also is busy, even though there's not a lot of adventurers. Of course, the two part of this quarters who are continuously active, probably even throughout the night, is the refinement section where they get the raw material, and the development where you've been told that it's dangerous to go there because there's a lot of gnome doing research and development there. So, where are you?
Sounds kind of cool, though. I'm just gonna follow the others because they've been doing this more than I have. So I assume there's a routine.
Aha.
I wasn't sure if you guys always went somewhere or not.
Get lost? Does
We
that
don't.
count as a routine?
There is a
Mm-hmm.
dwarf blacksmith we kind of have gone to a couple times, and we do have swords, so it would
Yeah.
make sense to probably go to him. Most of
Actually,
the stuff
would there be some kind of knowledge check to determine whether the kinds of weapons we're looking to sell would either be best given to a blacksmith or to a different kind of vendor?
I'd say just to sell them to get money. You'd probably have a better chance going to a merchant. So really in the area where they sell stuff. Would they take it? Most likely. The place where they would most likely take it without asking any questions whatsoever is the research and development. But you also might not receive the full price, as they're in this for research and development.
Alright, so like
probably
mostly just because like
merchant.
sometimes there's a gray area like where DMs like
Well,
put magic weapons versus
Regular weapons.
or magic items in general.
okay. The way that the industrial quarter is made, the middle space is where everything is sold and bought. This place is the one that you have the most experience dealing with. This is the place where there are pillars everywhere, and around each pillars.
It's less about location and more just about categorization.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes in a world where it's just like if you want to buy or sell magic weapons, you go to a magic shop. But then
in this one, you'd go toward what is closest to what you want to sell. So if you want to sell swords, you'd go to where they sell swords. They might have specialization for things made out of wood, things made out of metal, and the gray area for me would most likely be if you have a spear, do you go to where they make wood or make metal? But other than that, it's going to be where you buy and sell stuff. Because the quarter under it, the one where they process the raw mineral, they won't have a lot to do with it. All they can do is smelt it down and try and do something else with it. You most likely won't have a good price there because they're only going to look at the quality of the mineral you're bringing down. Research and development, well, they'll take anything off your hands. In terms of price, less so. They might try and bargain with it. So if you want a surprise, go up. If you want to just sell the metal, go down. If you want to sell it just like as you have it and try and get the best average price, it's going to be where you go in the middle.
So I guess we should go up first then. That's the most of where we can get the highest prices up.
So I'd say, the place that you'd most likely want to go to if you want to sell the leg is up or down. as a raw mineral or as a magical object to be dismembered.
Fisher didn't want us to sell the leg, and I don't think anyone's going to offer us 100 plat for it. So I'm not going to try and sell the leg.
So if this is what you want to sell off, those are the best. For everything else, if it's just the enchantable object, the center is probably your best bet, because they're going to buy it off exactly as it is, and they might try to get it enchanted or just put it back on the shelves. Magical things that have properties beyond just a general plus, now you might want to go up, because they have everything you need to get them analyzed, priced, and maybe exchange for
I
something.
don't know if we don't have any of those, right? All of our weapons were just plussed, right? They were just plussed weapons.
Other than the mace,
which
and
we're not.
Raimi's dagger.
Which we're not selling, though. We're keeping the mace. Or I'm keeping the mace. Because
What?
That.
If you want the mace, you're going to have to pry it out of audience cold, dead fingers.
I mean, no, Remy would just probably have to pickpocket me. It wouldn't be that hard. I would not notice him.
It would be hard
think
on
he
his
would.
poor heart.
Audience, you have cut Raimi to the quick.
Remy's not going to try and take audience weapons. He understands this are important to audience.
Especially the mace. It shines when you have it.
It does.
Alright. So, this is most likely what I'd say would be the normal conclusion of this thinking.
Okay. I guess we'll just go middle then, because we don't really have any enchanted.
Okay. So, everything you want to sell. I know I have it written down here. Okay. Here it is. So, all of the weapons in general that are of quality to be enchanted, you can sell them off for twice their normal value, and there's not going to be money quality devaluation, because since they are ready to be enchanted, they're of such high quality that even a bit of wear and tear would not affect it. But you literally took them off the displays, so even then you wouldn't have to worry about them being damaged. So everything you want to sell, you can sell them at twice the price for things that are just prepared.
Okay.
Things that are actually enchanted, depending on weapons and quality, it goes into the hundreds of gold piece, depending on who you want to sell it to.
Delicious.
So, what do you want to sell?
Okay, what do we... So, Fisher, you already have all the weapons you want, right?
Yeah. I mean, how much cost does having an enchantable weapon take off of buying a weapon that is enchanted?
Well, it depends. If it's dart, I'd say not a lot. But if it's bigger weapons like great sword, great axe, glaives, it's nearly 50% of the cost.
Oh. we're only getting double the cost for those right now, so I want to hang on to like of a weapon you might want enchanted later.
Yeah, if you want to
long
keep
sword.
one to have it enchanted later, the way that I would count this, depending on what kind of enchantment you want to put on it. Because if you want to put an enchantment that is extremely powerful, I'm not gonna cut the price in half. You know, having the object would normally cost you 50,000 gold. I'm not gonna cut it to 25,000 just because the object is ready to be enchanted.
No.
I'd say you can
Alright.
probably shave off 100 gold, 50 to 100 gold, if you want to have it enchanted, because the object is already prepared.
Yeah, I think I'm good with my stuff.
Okay. Jorg, Remy, do you want to hang on to any of the weapons?
No.
And because it is a bit unfair for things like darts, I'm not gonna give you 1 silver from them. I'm gonna give you 1 gold each.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I do want to hold on to those darts. I've got
Okay,
those.
you can hold on to the darts.
The +1 darts or the
The darts that are
non-magical
prepared.
darts?
+1 dart.
+1
Yeah, because you took
darts?
the because I think you took
I'm holding on to
the
that.
four +1 darts.
The four-
Yeah, but I've got this +1 spear I don't want, so I'll hand that over.
Okay.
Right now, we're just talking about the enchantable ones.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm
One.
talking about
Okay.
everything. I'm going
Everything?
through
Okay,
everything. I'm like,
Alright.
do you guys have anything?
I'm good with.
Well, one thing that I will accept without asking too many questions is you have a spear that is +1. If you'd rather have a quarter staff that is +1, it would probably easily be something that easy to do to just exchange it
Okay.
to receive
Take
a
the
plus.
top
I would
I
off
would
the spear.
recommend that. Jorg.
I would that's what I was just gonna say, that I would like a quarter staff +1. So
Since
either
a
get that.
+1 is in the same bracket as another +1, I'd say yeah, sure. You sell it. He gives you a bag of money.
Uh-huh.
You go on the store next door. You give your bag of money. Say, I want this staff. Yeah, no.
Let's just say, okay, so let's just say we're swapping out. We'll say we're swapping the spear out for the quarter staff. So we're not gonna sell that. So and then the only thing I guess I have to decide is, do I want the +1 greatsword? Am I gonna use a 2-handed weapon? It would cut my AC by 2.
The damage.
The damage.
I mean, like,
Also, big sword.
Imagine a critical hit with a.
because right now you have the the defense fighting style, don't you?
Yeah, which I might switch out when we trade. But yes, I might just go a more damaging build, unless tanky.
It's all up to you, my guy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hang on to the +1 greatsword for now. Keep that in storage.
Yeah, because you have a good one-handed weapon with the mace.
Well, and the +1 longsword, but yeah, I have a lot of that. Technically, we had 2, but because I already had a +1 longsword, and then we found like 2 more, I think.
We found 3. I took 1.
Yeah,
So there are 2 extra +1 longswords.
yeah,
And you have a dimensional storing
yeah.
place.
And I will probably keep the +1 longsword I already had because it's cool, because it has the dragon on it, and it's like has sentimental value to me. But
So, pretty much of the +1s that we are actually selling is the +1 great axe,
Yeah.
the +1 battle axe.
Yeah.
Oh no, excuse me. I misread. For some reason my brain saw great sword and said great axe. So keeping the great sword, but selling the battle axe and the 2 +1 long swords.
Yes. So I guess we're selling 3 things. So I don't know how much gold that is.
Of the magical stuff.
Like we'll just take care of that first, just so that's out of the way.
Yeah.
Right. So you said the. All right. So list of things you want to sell. Battle axe. How many of them?
We have 1 battle axe to sell.
1 + 1 battle axe.
1 + 1 battle axe.
Oh, 1
4
+ 1 battle
enchantable.
axe.
4 enchantable battle axes.
Okay, let's keep it separated,
Let's
Okay.
let's do the +1s.
because you're going to complicate things if you do it that way.
Alright, where's gold? I need to. Okay, I'm gonna go to gold. I'm gonna do the. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
just
1 + 1 battle axe and 2 + 1 long swords. That's the everything else somebody is holding on to.
I was waiting for DM to give me a number of what those 3 things add up to.
Okay. All right. So for the. Okay, so for all plus weapons, you can find someone who will take them off. Let's do this for, as someone else says, for brevity's sake. Let's make a persuasion roll for whoever wants to be the face of the party while trying to sell this.
You want to give me guidance, Jorg? I think I have the
Oh
highest.
yeah. Yeah, I'll give you some guidance.
He
And you
enters
want
the
to give me
store
advantage, Remy?
looking.
Someone. Someone want to help me?
Army's gonna look cute behind you.
Rainy,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I like the Rainy will kind of like try to make like the weapons look extra shiny as they're being presented.
Remy will just like put some of his gems on top of them and then take them off. And, like,
Gives a
look
little.
at them with gems on them.
No. I have it. You arrive in front of it and you cast Fairy Fire, so they're all shining. And you start mimicking
Yeah.
music. Turns into a display room.
So, for the plus ones, I rolled an unnatural 20.
Okay. For the plus one, you roll a natural 20, and I rolled. Okay. That's pretty good. So they're gonna. It's a very good price that you managed to find for yourself. So for every plus 1 weapon that you want to sell, they're going to buy it off of your hands for 350 gold.
Okay, 350, so 600, 900.
1050
1050.
in total for 3 weapons.
10,
Damn.
1, 0, 5, 0.
So,
Okay.
so now going to the enchantables.
Yeah, those can vary a bit more. Okay.
Is anyone keeping the enchantables?
No.
I think the 100. I think it'd be easier just to get. I think we're later on. It's going to be. I'm just going to sell all of them. To be honest, I'm not keeping any of them.
Okay.
I already have my enchantable shield. That's the only thing
So, all right. One after the other. We have hand axe.
We have
2 hand axes.
2 hand
Two
axes.
hand axe. The 2 hand axe. All right.
Should I make another roll for
Yeah.
all the? Can I
See-
just make another roll for all the unchantable? We'll just do all of them. And then
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
see. Just make a second roll. All right. Same thing. Guidance advantage, I assume.
Oh.
Alright. Okay, there's that.
Starts mimicking the sound of the of a
Okay.
commercial channel host.
20. Okay, so 20.
All right, again, cool. That's a pretty good price. All right, so for the hand axes, he is going to take them off your hand for. Hold on, where are the hand axe? Here, hand axe. 8 gold each.
Okay, so
60.
58, 1,068.
For the great swords,
Yes.
do you keep any of the enchantable great swords?
No.
All right, so that sells for a lot. He's willing to buy it for 80 gold piece.
80 gold. So what's 1,068 plus 80?
Just
68.
where
plus
I got it. Okay.
It's 1,148 gold.
Well, we can add it all together at
Okay.
the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm
Let's
writing down
let's
each
not
number.
let's not try to do it.
Okay, 1,140. Okay, and then what else we got?
Okay, next on the list, battle axe. How many do you sell?
All of them.
So
We
four.
We have 4 battle axes.
4. 20. He is willing to buy them for 70 gold. The whole lot of them.
Okay.
218.
Enchantable darts.
No, we're keeping. Oh, the enchantable
No.
arts. Do you want those, Jorg?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
My
Alright.
chance ones.
So
Or my plus one.
There'll be 10 of those.
Oh, he's gonna take them for you for 9 gold.
27.
Long swords. I believe you have 3 of them left.
4
Yeah.
enchantables, unless somebody took an
Oh.
enchantable one.
No, I took an enchantable, so 4 enchantables.
Yeah.
So from long swords. 15.
30, 60.
All right. He is willing to buy them for 90 gold. The whole lot of them.
90. Okay. Okay.
So all in all, it's
317.
pretty decent price. It's not exactly double, but
Yeah.
pretty close to it.
Dre, I got 1,317. Is my math correct? I was doing it in my head, so.
That's not an excuse.
1,315.
Oh, I got.
I also
okay,
got
was
1,315.
I was too off. I'll take it. All right, and now divide that by 4.
328.75.
Oh,
Fine.
suddenly, audience is really good in math.
All right, what does the 0.75 add up to? 0.75 is
75 copper.
Exactly.
75 copper. Okay,
7.
so we're
Or
adding. So how much?
7 silver.
So how much gold are each of us adding?
328.
328. Got it.
Damn.
All right.
Jorg's never
And
been
then
this
7
rich.
silver, 5 copper.
7 silver, 5. And I still can't really get an enchantment on my shield. Because those are usually 1,000 gold. Still short. That's
Well, you have a few potions you didn't have identified.
that's true, but
I know a guy.
I technically have some gems as well, but I'm not gonna sell those.
Alright, so where did I put this? I think
I need the gems
All
to
right.
feed to my big dragon.
Yeah. Because, dragon needs to be fed gems.
Well, they just wanted me to have gems, so I'm hanging on to any gems I can.
Alright. By the time that you just went rummaging around and trying to figure out who's going to give you the best price, I'd say Fisher. It's easy for you to have catch up with them. You just see them leaving one shop and going to another shop, and by the time you get there, you see them leaving another one, and oh, they didn't see me. Remy didn't see?
Hey,
What's up?
did you offload everything?
Yeah.
Yes. I show him the very full coin purse I now have.
Sweet.
Maybe just
can I
can't
have
stop staring at your coin purse.
my cut?
Yes, we had to do your cut, I assume.
Sweet.
Oh, by the way, thank you, audience, for that quote.
You're welcome.
You guys offloaded the leg yet?
No, we saved that for you. Because you said...
Sweet.
also, by the way, we're going with literally the rest of the garden to basically fight the hunter cult.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
He's not hard to convince.
Sure. Sounds about right.
The quest was red when I clicked on it, but I assume it didn't account for the fact that we're going to be with like 30 other high-level adventurers.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say they've gotten to the point where we should try dealing with them, but we wouldn't be able to without help, so I think this will work. I guess in the meantime, if y'all are done selling the other stuff, you want to come with me while I see about this leg.
Sure.
Remy, Jorg, and audience, this is going to be your first true incursion into the research and development part of the garden.
I mean, I speak gnome. I'll be
I
fine.
mean, Raimi wandered in there for a little bit.
You never went as deep as Fisher went. He wanted to bet, so he really went deep inside.
You have a lot of gold now, Fisher. If you want to make some big bets. Like, do we defeat the hunter cult and defeat us,
Well, actually,
money.
first of all, I would like to, if you could open up your storage for me, and maybe not quite yet. Probably get there first. I'd like to go to just a regular blacksmith. Specializes in armor.
Okay.
Alright.
And
It's easy enough to do.
I am
I need to add a +1 great sword.
looking for someone who I could, if I give them the remnants of the multiple animated armor suits, if they could put together a set of plate.
By the way, while we were there, could I have just sold my chainmail real quick? I don't need
Sure.
I don't need this.
You still have it.
I just wanted it out of my inventory. It's just taking up space.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, did your chainmail at least look pretty, or?
Probably not.
It's rusted. It's because the last time you had it, you went swimming with it, and then you took it off and you just left it at the back
it in
of
the
the
back.
cart.
It's not great. I'm not expecting a lot for it. I just want it.
Okay, it was a chainmail.
Yeah, it was chainmail.
Use
chainmail.
You see you find the dwarf that's gonna buy it, and you just look at him, looking at the chainmail, looking at you. It's pretty rusted. There's even a few link missing.
It's chainmail.
I'm gonna give you 30 gold for it.
I will take 30 gold.
It's 30 more gold than he had.
More than I thought I'd get for it, to be honest. So, yeah, I will.
I'm pretty sure one of those gnome has what it takes to remove the rust off of it, and I can melt it down and have another chainmail made, or at least a chain shirt made with it.
All right, cool. That's now out of my.
All right, Fisher. Sure, you easily find someone. You have to go into the place where they sell enchanted armor, but sure, there's a gnome actually that's there. Exactly when you enter, he just drops something on the floor, and that's interesting. I've never worked with old living armor before. Sure, I can try and make something out of it. It's not going to be instantaneous. How long can you wait?
That's a good question. When were you guys thinking of leaving?
Soon. I think they're all gathering, and most of them seem to have already left. So probably, maybe like. Actually, I mean, nah. Well, I don't know what time it is.
Of day?
Yeah, it would still be day. You arrive at the garden. You decided to go and find Civ at the end of the day. Most likely now it would be something like 7 or 8 o'clock.
Alright, so we'll probably spend the night here and then just leave in the morning and teleport so we don't have.
Okay, try and make something out of it in one day, huh? I don't know if I can make a plate armor in one day, but judging from the pieces that are there, I mean, I can make you a half plate in one day. I think there's enough of pieces there. But if you really want a full plate, I'd say next time you're in the garden, it's going to be ready.
That'll work.
Is it self-repairing full plate, though? Does it get the flame spell when he has it?
Yeah. No, that was different. That's the leg.
Yeah, those were the animated armor inside of the display room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
So next time you're in?
Yeah, I'll stop by.
Okay.
That'll probably be a bit, but...
don't worry, unless you die, I know you're going to come back.
Yep.
And I know someone. If you die and it's ready, I can make sure they raise you. And I'm going to make sure you display my armor for the rest of eternity.
No, you won't.
No, you're right. But I just like saying it.
Like, nope.
Okay. And then I will leave. Making sure to grab his name or remember where his shop is.
Yeah, no, the shop is easy to find. It's where they make metal armor. So it's a single column where it's always the same thing. One shop sells lower grade armor, one mid, one high. Probably went to the mid one because since you're going to be coming back, it's going to increase in value. All right.
Audience will stop for a second as we're going to be like, by the way, if he does die, in his will, it's stated that he wants this guy a Taikar to pay for his entire funeral. Make sure to look for him. He'll be the one who will pay for the armor.
All right, I like it.
Yes.
Insurance. All right.
Absolutely.
The audience will leave.
All right. I'm gonna look for it. The name does ring a bell. I think he did stay here a few days. Yeah. All right. I like you. I won't have to raise you. I'll simply have someone else pay for you. All right. Well, see you again soon, I hope.
I'll turn to Fish. I'll be like, I don't want you to die, but I do think it would be somewhat amusing now if you did.
Thank you.
Fisher,
guess.
you hear from inside of you a voice that says, "Aw, that's so nice."
I guess we should head up to the R&D. When we get up there, watch your heads. You never know
Alright.
when an invisible flying chainsaws come at you.
So, audience will like pull out a shield like somebody's gonna need.
That's a good idea.
All right. You go up the stairs, then you arrive in this huge workshop. Quite easily a large room with stalls and tables, and it's filled with... There are a few halflings, but it's mostly gnomes. Gnomes everywhere. And as you enter, you see a big sign saying 25 minutes since the last incident.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Also worried. Like a volcano when it gets nearer and nearer to its.
Fisher, if you say this out loud, you hear gnomes say, "Yeah, it's good average." Although I think they should have separated the kind of incidents, minor incidents, normal incidents, major incidents, and incidents you don't want to remember.
You know anybody
Incidents
here
that you
working
immediately
on-
forgot.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think no one would ever mark incidents they don't want to remember. I think it's a human thing.
Know anybody here working on golems? Large constructs?
What, you want to have one? That's the first time someone asked
We
me
might
that.
have something for them.
Okay. Sure. Just go at the back. You're gonna see a large stall where there's a lot of stone and clay. There's one there who likes playing with this stuff.
Do you recommend a safest path to get there?
He looks at you, Jorg, audience, and Remy. Well, you're gonna have to go through the less than 5 feet zone. So,
Great.
other than that, just keep going straight forward. There's a wide margin between each stalls if you just keep going forward. And usually, if you're under 5 feet, you really don't have to worry about anything.
And if we're above 5 feet, we'll end up at 5 feet.
You could.
Sounds about right. Like I said, watch your head. And I'll start heading off in that direction.
Just as you say this, you hear... Then you see the sign right above your head going back to 0 minutes since last incident. You're good for a few minutes. Just go right ahead. Alright.
I'm gonna check out, by the way, because it's 1:40.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind. We're entering into this very weird quarter. I don't mind ending the episode here, because there's gonna be most likely a lot of weird stuff going on
Alright.
during the next few hundred feet.
Also, if you guys just want to finish up the whole shopping, I mean, I'm fine. Just like we can start next session like heading off to Otanel. So whatever you guys want. I'm just gonna check out because I have no more shopping to do. So
See it. But
See ya.
Bye.
Right.
So, what do you want to do? Jorg, Fisher, and Remy, do you want to finish this episode here? So, audience is there for the weird stuff that can happen when you enter a gnomish shop, or do you want to completely finish the shopping?
I kind of don't want the shopping to carry over to the next session. Not gonna lie.
Fair enough. I'd be down to finish it.
Okay. Alright, so as you enter into this weird place with gnomes working on so many different things, it's sort of like walking into the magical workshop of Santa, but where you can die every 5 steps. So as you're moving about in this weird place, the first 100 feet is fairly secure. You're walking, and then suddenly you see a gnome running in the opposite direction, stopping right in front of you and say, avoid things that are blue. And then he starts running again.
Got it.
You make a few more steps, get in a little bit further in, and you see this gnome who's walking with a gem in his hand. He looks toward all of you. I'm gonna give you 15 gold if you eat it.
Ooh.
It's the size of a big marble.
What do you know about that?
I don't know, I just made it.
What'd you make it out of?
It was milk. I know it looks like a diamond, but it's made out of milk. I think
Last time I ate something weird a gnome gave me, I pooped out a worm.
that was you! That was the worm!
It's alive.
Can you prove it?
It's right here. I would take him out, but I don't trust this place.
Yeah. I'm only gonna believe it when I see it. So, anyone want to eat it? Looks at you, Remy?
Sure, why not?
Maybe it just looks really sad.
So,
He said he was giving 15 gold for it, right?
if you eat it, yeah.
I'll eat it.
Jeez.
I got a good digestive system.
Alright, he gives it to you. You look at it for a moment and, well, what's the worst that can happen? I'm gonna poop out a white worm? And you just see...
Harry will have a sibling.
Okay, so you eat the gem. Very interesting. Oh, that's slightly
15
disappointing.
gold.
Roll a d8 for me, please.
D8?
Yeah.
2.
Oh man, you're disappointing me.
My bad. You want me to roll again?
Well, I'm gonna be fair. Don't worry about it. So you eat it.
I lose 2 levels.
And you poop out a level. No. Oh, that must be gross. Comes out brown, and he says, if you eat it, you're gonna get your level back. Okay, so... No, but you eat it, waits for a moment, he looks at you. So, any weird effect? Do you feel I don't know, is your stomach churning or bubbling or feel like you're gonna blow up?
Stomach?
Well, whatever you use to break down stuff and absorb it inside your body.
No.
Oh, that's disappointing. Damn, I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe I should try and do this out of something else than milk. You just see him go, oh yeah, sorry, here's your 15 gold.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your
Good
first
luck.
clinical trial.
Keep going.
Alright, you keep going. Suddenly you find yourself in front of a gnome. He looks at you, arms crossed. You all look funny.
So do you.
That's fair.
Can I help you?
Depends. What can you do?
A lot of stuff.
Oh.
Do you need something, or can I keep going?
He looks at you, Fisher. He looks at Jorg. He looks at Jorg's new pet. He looks at Remy. I want a tail feather from him.
That's not happening.
Coward. And he starts walking away.
I look back at Raimi and I just go, right?
He just has like this like
I mean, I
worried
didn't
look on
know.
his face and like minor illusions a question mark.
I didn't really want to like assume or answer for you, but I kind of guessed that would.
We could have at least seen
Yeah,
what he
you're
was
good.
offering.
Right. You start entering into... You make it another 50 feet, and then you see a yellow line on the floor, which is written in several languages, including a few that you can read. 5 feet and under.
Oh, this is it. Time to duck.
So, Jorgen Fisher, you crouch down.
Raimi, you're just about 5 feet, right?
Maybe just confidently walks forward.
Yeah, so just keep under that. Gives you a good visual.
All right. And suddenly, as you're walking, you hear Gnome. Oh, shoot. Has anyone seen my saw blade? It's made out of diamond.
Is that the invisible one?
I was trying to fix that. So it would reappear, and then suddenly... Two.
Raimi, you might want to move a little faster.
Jorg, you hear... right above your head. You don't see anything. You just heard that.
Alright. I'm gonna wild shape into a dog to stay well under the 5 foot limit.
Smart.
You hear a gnome go, oh, that's a nice reaction. What happens if...
And the
what
And the
happens?
next thing you know, your puppy is wandering off because you're not holding him anymore.
No, I'll
He's doing the thing where it's like
run in the lead.
the blind dog has a seeing eye dog friend that's holding his leash.
Yeah, I saw it. Alright, you keep on walking, you make another 50 feet or so, and then you get to a gnome. He seems to be holding a rod in his hand. There's a large red ball at the end of it. He looks at all of you. Do you want to buy it?
What does it do?
I don't know, it's a lever. Just
Uh,
put it on the wall and pull it.
You can just put it on a wall.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen though.
How much? I'll give you 15 gold for it.
He has a moment and you see a smile appearing in his face. Yeah. Make it 20 and I'll give it to you.
Sure, why not?
Alright.
I'll give him 20 gold.
And he hands you this lever.
I have lever now.
Yeah, it's a gnomish lever from the garden.
Sweet.
Maybe don't try it in the garden, just in case, the wardens, they don't have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I'll make sure to try it outside.
Yeah.
Just on anything? Like, specifically, does it have to be a wall? You have no idea, dude.
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Maybe it'll work on the floor or on the ceiling. Hey, maybe you could put it on a chair. Hey, that could be part of the test. Try it on a different surface. Maybe there's a different result.
You're gonna have to pay me if you want results brought back to you.
Oh, if it's good result, yeah, sure. Well,
Hi.
in that case, and he turns toward you, Remy. In that case, make sure he tries it on himself at least once. I think he's made of metal and stone. Just put the lever in his back and pull it.
Now I need to know.
He gives you a wink, Remy, when he says that. I trust you. Mostly.
Well, Fisher's gonna have to stay in. He's never gonna be able to sleep. He's gonna have to be in
He doesn't have to
I
sleep.
have the lever.
mode anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
My lever.
But
I ate a milk diamond for this lesson.
Yeah, the results were disappointing. I rolled a 1 and you rolled a 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just keep going.
All right. And then, after another maybe 60 feet, you get to this large stall with a lot of stone stuff, and you see a gnome who's just working on clay, trying to make a really good square out of clay. And oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. I think I want to dye it. Hey, you! And he like turns toward the three of you as you're coming. Which dye do you reckon? Which dye would you advise? I just bought a green dye. Made a nice green block. Could be interesting. I got a black dye. A lot of people find this mysterious. And I got a blue dye.
Blue.
Blue, got it. Alright. He starts mixing things, and as he's stirring, so, I see you stop walking right in front of my stall. What can I help you?
Are you the guy that messes with constructs and golems and stuff?
Well, I make, and stuff, yeah?
Audience, if you would.
Yeah, sure.
And then I will
Dimensional stuff.
start scooting out the shield guardian leg.
Takes it
I
out.
found one of these recently.
You see the guy just let go out of his mixing tool. Where did you get that?
In an ancient gnomish laboratory who specialized in weapons and armor.
Oh, only that? That's interesting. So, what do you want to do with it?
What do you want to do with it?
How long do you have?
Well, I could drop it off here. I'd be willing to part
No, I
with
just
it.
meant how long do you have to listen to everything I want to do with it?
Oh, I get. Yeah, you're good. You don't have to run through.
Oh, that's
All that.
disappointing. All right.
You should know it was able to continuously fix itself while we fought it, and then
Oh, yeah.
eventually it put up a fire shield.
Oh. He turns towards someone and he yells something in gnomish. You see two gnomes just go, oh. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Just because Raimi has the spell slot, it's like maybe just going to like hold on, clap his hands, and like basically makes a 15-foot version of the monstrosity that they fought.
Yeah, for Remy it is a nightmarish creature which pulverized audience repeatedly.
But yes, he uses silent image to create this visual aid, and
Yeah.
maybe even does sound effects.
Oh, that's interesting. Hey, when you get back to the stall over there, can you just use the same spell that you're using right now and make the sound of a saw blade just as you go past, just as you go past them? It's gonna freak them out. So that's coming out of this. Ah, where's the rest of it? I'm pretty sure the fire comes from that point, and he points toward where the heart should be if it was human.
Well, if I was trying to remember when we took the leg, did the hunter cult? I know they were wanting to study it. Did they take the rest of it, and that's why we just took the leg?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you may have heard that most of the adventurers in the garden have left
Yeah.
to go fight a cult.
Yeah.
The cult has the rest of it. So if you fancy yourself worthy of an arms race or a legs race.
Hey, Silverbolt! Do you have that recall scroll? Yeah, the one that can bring object back. Find it. We're gonna have fun with this. So, do you want anything in exchange, or do you just want to come back later and see what happened and judge there? Or...
What do you got?
Well, mostly things made out of clay and stone. That's what I do.
You got money?
Metal, is that it? For your world?
Yeah,
Is metal,
the
metal? Yeah.
shiny stuff.
Well, shiny stuff I have, but I think you want metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get metal.
I mean, unless I'll look back to Jorg and Fish or Rami. You guys want something else?
If you want sculpture, you know, I do those things to pass up time. I'm mixing a special kind of clay, so
I think money will do fine.
I think so.
do you want to have explosive clay?
C4? How explosive
That's not
is
a
this
bad
clay?
name.
The Clay 4. also known as C4.
It's the fourth iteration. The first three blew up too fast.
That's why he likes it.
How explosive is the clay?
I don't know. I just finished it last night. I didn't have time to test it. I got 3 bricks. If you want to be the test dummy for this, I'm giving one of them free, and if you promise me... No! He turns toward Remy and says, if you promise me, you're gonna show me everything that happened when he set them off, I'm not gonna ask for any money of the other 2. But I want exactly what happened. I want to see it.
How do we set it off? Fire?
Actually, it kind of resisted rather well, but could work. I'd go with... Hold on, clay, huh? Can you do necrotic damage?
I cannot.
Oh, that's too bad. He looks at the paint that he's mixing. Can you do cold damage?
Can.
He takes his scoops of the blue paint and he just pours it over the 3 bricks. Yeah, that should do it.
I think you got yourself a deal.
All right.
Also, for testing this for you, we get a discount on it in the future.
Well, if it works, yeah.
Okay.
And just so that we're clear, if you blow yourself up, I don't owe you anything.
Well, you can't, because I'll be... I guess it depends on how strong it is.
You have a poor imagination.
I'll take the bricks.
You got 3 bricks of clay 4.
Getting stacked, you guys.
Yeah.
With a lot of stuff that you don't know if it's gonna work or not.
This is why you come to the gnomes.
I know what the lever's going to do now.
Yeah, it's gonna blow up.
That's off the clay 4 inside you.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna add this blasting powder thing, and then rename it, because that seems close enough.
Sure. Alright, so I can keep the leg until you come back. He looks at the brick. If you come back.
Yep.
Alright. Good. So, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Don't knock yourself out.
Why?
Because that would hurt.
You really have a lack of imagination.
Do you knock yourself out?
You really have a lot of imagination missing in there. Alright, I get the idea. Come on.
Okay. If it kills me, I'm going to come back and haunt you.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time.
What?
It's a gnome.
If you had a higher passive perception, you could see the 3 phantasmal gnomes circling him.
Alright, so you gather yourselves up, you look nervously around, and you try and make your way out of this place. Eventually, as you are walking out, everything seems to be going well. Remy, you walk, I'd say mostly assured that your head's not gonna get cut off. But it's getting weirder by the minutes in there. Then eventually, you hear... Fisher, you see a dart stuck in your shoulder armor.
I'll look around. You did it.
You see a gnome just...
Hey,
What?
is this your dart?
What happens if I say yes?
I go easy on you for telling the truth.
What happens if I say no?
I don't go easy on you.
What about maybe?
Not an option.
So you want to know if I threw it or if it's mine?
If you're responsible for whatever sent it in my direction.
Ha! No! That's him! You look at where the finger is, and you hear the guy who said, "Keep away from blue things." You got something blue on you, don't you?
Huh. That's not really how I assumed that was going to happen. I
No,
guess
me
that's my
neither.
fault.
I just
Oh.
enchanted those. I thought they were gonna explode. It's disappointing. Can I have it back?
On the condition that when you do make some that do explode, I get one.
If you buy for the components to make it, yeah. I'm using rubies. Makes sense, you know, ruby, red, fire.
And what's with the blue?
Maybe I should try yellow. It's gonna give green. Thanks for the idea. Can I have it back now? And he's starting to walk away from you. Can I have it back?
Sure.
Alright, thanks. He takes it and he leaves away. That blue paint! Come on, give it more! And he just trails off. Then you see the boards going back to 0 minutes till last incident. You see a gnome just looking at you. I wanted the dart to blow up, but necrotic damage. He wants fire. No, why he wants to do this. So you make your way out of the research quarter as you arrive, the research and development quarter, and as you arrive just next to the door, you hear you see a hole right in front of you in the wall. You hear a gnome say, "Ha! I knew it worked!"
I spin around. Is it the same gnome?
No, it's another gnome. Make an intelligence roll.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah. Memory.
10.
10. Gnome feels familiar. Like, You met him the last time you were here. It's on the tip of your tongue. And then he says, I told you I could control this to go through things and hit a target behind it. The dimensional marbles used as the weapon. The warden said not to do this.
Weren't you supposed to stop working on that one?
What, you gonna tell on me now?
Pretty sure I'm contractually obligated to say no.
You better. I'm watching you now. And he takes a marble and the slingshot, and I can hit through walls now.
If it hits me, it'll hit you right back.
You sure?
I'll hit you right back.
But you won't know it's me.
If I get hit by a marble coming through a wall, I'll know it's you.
How? Maybe it's someone else using my marble.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that nobody else is stupid enough to do what you're doing. Specifically.
Well, that's not kind for them. And he points toward Jorg and Remy.
That's not.
He looks at you, proud of himself, as he says that.
That's not. You missed the point. Okay, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I didn't miss. That was intentional. Ah! Got you twice. Hey, where's that air compressor that you have? I have 25 other marbles to try. I'm gonna try, yeah, all in a single shot. You hear him walk away.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
So you make your way out of the gnomish quarter. It's a different experience. You sort of feel lucky that you weren't actually injured. And you probably wonder why hasn't been any death yet.
A gnome is a small target.
And it's a moving target.
If they were bigger, there'd be a lot more serious injuries.
Alright, so you leave the research and development quarter with one leg less, but one liver and 3 clay 4 bricks, all of which you need to try out.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm excited for those.
And just as you leave, you hear someone say, "Enjoy your stay. We hope to see you again." And you just walk off the stairs, going back to the normal, where, well, it felt a bit weird the first time you were there, but now compared to the level of research and development, the merchant level feels tame, normal, quiet.
Before I forget,
Yeah.
the potions we picked up.
Yeah.
Remy, did you ever identify those?
No one ever asked him to.
I was remembering something vaguely about the weird looking one. I was wondering, like, if you tried to identify it and it didn't work, or if that was just the detect magic.
Above game, what happened was that he did have detect magic on, but we were also in that laboratory, and pretty much immediately after we were heading toward the room with the with the marbles. So pretty much, if we wanted to have stopped for like 30 minutes to try to identify all three of them,
Well,
we erred on the side of not doing that.
Since audience did say that you were going to go there in the morning, technically now you'd have enough time to ritually cast Identify on each of those things.
Yeah.
This is something very normal. I don't mind if you want to just have things identified. Say this as you go to your room, you just... Or maybe as you go to the inn to eat something, for those of you who want to eat, get your usual food. You can easily just set yourself up on the table and try and identify things. Do you want to do this?
Yeah,
Is it bad that Maybe wanted to explore his options for spending his money because he has a lot of it.
Go for it, my guy. Yeah, I was kind of.
That said, though,
No,
I don't want to
ahead.
hold Fisher and Jorg hostage for the session.
Hey, dude, I took the first hour and a half by myself, so go for it.
Yeah, that's something I don't want to do, though.
No, but hey, if you take Jorg and Fisher with you, so they can share in the business of buying stuff, you know, just like Fisher shared in with the experience of visiting the gnomes.
I mean, that honestly, like, although speaking of the gnomes, like regarding maybe trying to figure out that one thing, would that be a trip to the gnomes or a trip to the merchant district?
Getting stuff identified?
No, not identified. The other possible thing we talked about earlier today.
Well, I'd say the safe way is to go through to a merchant and ask them. Probably go to the mid-tier one and ask them if it's possible to have something like this made. The slightly gambling way of doing this is going to research and development and try and find someone who is willing to have one made. This can have different outcomes. Some better, some just different, and some worse. It's a gamble.
So you know what? They were just there, and they're still dealing with an invisible buzzsaw. So
Still,
What do you
not
mean,
just
one?
still because we were just there, still because they were dealing with it when I was last there, which was a long time ago.
Well, yeah, at least a week. So from the player's view, it's sort of like as you're leaving Fisher, you notice that Remy seems to be hesitant. He looks back and he looks at all of you. Then you ask him why he's doing this, and maybe there's something he wants to go in there, and he answers, so,
Yeah, it's probably a good call.
But hey, I don't mind if you want to go back. Just ask someone at the entrance. I mean, there was a ribbon separating the 5 feet and over and 5 feet and under section.
actually, I will leave this to a D20. This is going to be a Raimi courage roll.
A true Dungeon and Dragon way of settling things.
Apparently, Raimi has a lot of courage.
He really wants this. Alright.
Raimi looks back at Fisher and Jorg, and with a determination that you're not used to seeing on his face, he turns around and begins walking back into R&D.
It looks like a 5 years old who just got the courage to go back to the counter and ask for a ginger cookie. Without his mommy.
I guess I could. You know what? Just real quick before we go back in, Rami, and I will ask audience to open the extra dimensional space and
yeah,
put
sure.
the blue explosive clay in there.
You know what? That's probably a good idea.
I don't need to get shot again.
I was sure you were going to pick up on that when I gave you the warning of blue things and then gave you the blue paint.
That's why I said for him to use the blue paint, because I thought it'd be funny. But then I ended up taking the thing that was blue and I forgot about that.
And you were lucky. I rolled low, so the dart didn't explode. So Alright, so how are you going to present this to a gnome so he can understand what you want? Because finding a gnome is easy.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yes.
now, Rami, remember, you got to be as clear as possible, because this gnome is going to think they know what you want, and then they're going to come up with something real crazy, and definitely not what you were thinking of. So just make sure you're...
Right, mostly because this is at least like the item that that Rami was like basing his idea off of. So, Rami, as he's going up to the desk, kind of like pulls out the enchantable bracers and in front of the front desk, I guess.
Okay.
And
It's a
he
female.
is going to...
It's a female gnome. Well, that is an interesting way of starting a conversation. What do you want me to do with this?
And it's like going to like use minor illusion to kind of like make sparkly noise, like not sparkly noise, but like, you know, like sparkle, and uses mimicry to kind of like make workshop sounds like hammering, drilling, then maybe like a magical poofing and pointing at them.
You want the bracers to do all of that? Can certainly try.
Rami shakes his head and just like looks up at Fisher.
he wants you to enchant it.
Oh, that's
And
boring.
now,
Okay. Yeah. What kind of enchantment? You sure you don't want bracers that explode? I'd love to make that for you.
Rami shakes his head furiously. And I guess like maybe just like to communicate what he wants, just like he's just gonna briefly open up his coat to show like his bandolier of daggers.
Okay.
And just like takes a few of them and just like throws them in a random direction.
Okay.
not the most dangerous thing happening in the workshop right now.
No, she is surprisingly unfazed by this. Okay.
And maybe to help further drive the point, like even maybe takes like a few of them at a time and just like throws them at the same time.
Wouldn't that be dangerous for you? I mean, it's your thing. All right, sure, I can. Well, that's a nice variation of it. Do you want the boom with it also?
Just confused.
I think he just wants the bracers to be able to
burst daggers. Yeah, no, I agree. It's brilliant.
Yeah. He's generally the more stealthy type, so quiet would be better.
Oh. A silent
They just
burst
make
of
just
dagger.
make quiet explosions.
A silent burst of dagger, huh? I think we can come up with something. How much control do you want over this?
And he kind of like cocks his head, and maybe even does like the elaborate motion.
Well, do you want the bracers to burst out daggers when you hit someone with your fists, when you whistle? Do you want them to all come out in a single direction, omnidirectional? You just appear in the body of the person that you're aiming at? I don't know. How much control do you want? Do you want all of these options? That could be cool. Yeah, no, never mind. I'm going to do all this. All right. Well, this can be interesting.
Shotgun bracers. Do it. Just a cone of daggers.
So let me warn you. This is like using a wish spell. I'm going to really go exactly with what you said and add gnomish flair to this.
But Raimi can't.
This can get weird.
Do it, do it, do it.
You hear this voice right next to you. Do it, do it, do it. Then you turn around and you see a gnome that's just standing right next to you saying, do it, do it.
Oh, we'll leave it to the courage roll again.
Okay.
And I keep rolling consistently high on these courage rolls, so it's just like apparently with all of these like encouragement from probably all of the wrong people. Raimi just nods his head.
All right. How am I gonna call it? Bracers of dagger bursting. Silent dagger bursting. Yeah. Tell you what, I like you. I'm even gonna try and make them burst in a 270-degree angle, facing away from you, so you're the only thing that doesn't get hit.
I just like to imagine the biggest anime sweat drop dripping from Raimi's forehead.
Alright. Next time you're in the garden, come and see me. It's gonna be ready. Here, I'll have this flag next to me, and she just takes a huge pole with an odd yellow and black with purple dots on it. Just look for that flag. It's gonna be completely in the back. I don't know where exactly.
It's like Raimi nods and then also just like looks back there again, just like thinking about like, oh, that's my future, isn't it?
All right. Well, see you soon. Try not to die. I mean, there's not gonna be a lot of people asking for this, so try not to die.
Well, I guess while Remy is thinking about it, uh, he kind of like makes a coin jingling sound.
You want to pay me, or you want me to pay you?
Raimi is charging you for the amazing idea. If it works, obviously.
Well, that's gonna be hard to price, but yeah, sure, why not? All right. She turns around and walks away.
Remy's entire world just like in that exact moment just turned upside down, and he's really confused.
I'll just kind of clap him on the back. And be like, good job.
And then Remy just walks back down to the merchant district where things make sense again.
That's gonna be interesting to build. Alright. So, anything else you'd like to spend your money on? Because apparently you're not gonna lose money on this.
Remy did have one other idea, but
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's in his price range though. But he will would magical armor fall under the magic item store or the armor store? Or not, excuse me, not the armor, but the I guess in the case of a
the magic armor store that I went to already.
Well, depending on what type of armor. If you want leather armor,
I guess like
if you want metal armor.
Because I think studded leather falls under
yeah, it would be leather.
Leatherworking.
Yeah. No, if you want to buy armor like this, just plain armor like this, unless you want to have want a very specific enchantment on it.
He does want a very specific enchantment.
Okay. Well, then, in that case, it's the same thing. You can go to the shop, and he's most likely... This is the safe way, and you're going to probably get exactly what you want, but not right away. Or you can roll another courage dice and ask someone else on this floor.
Yeah, Rainey's gonna... No, Rainy will take it safe this time because, like, I feel like there's only so many times you can roll the courage dice before, like, yeah, he's spent for the day.
The world has become weird enough for now. All right, so yes, you can easily find an armor shop. Drive in. The person is preparing to start closing the shop, and just as you're, okay, last customer of the day. What can I do for you? It's a small gnome. You get the feeling that it's probably end of adolescence gnome.
Yeah, so maybe coming up, just kind of like points to his studded leather, and yeah, he'll burn another spell slot on this. Like he will tap his studded leather, and as though magically, it looks like a set of chainmail.
You want to exchange it?
Shakes his head. And then when he tapped, and I guess I'll burn one more spell slot for this. He taps it again, and it becomes a clown costume.
Okay, I think I've heard about this thing. An armor that can basically disguise you. Is that it?
So yeah, if you need the name for yourself, DM.
I think it's armor of disguise, but
Well, no, like I'm referring to glamored studded leather.
Here you go. Oh. Well, I don't have it now, but I can have it made. It's gonna cost you, Yimmy. I know it's a lot of adventurers right now here don't have a lot of money. You sure you have enough money for this?
I mean, that's a maybe, because I don't know how you price items of this rarity yet.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Let's...
I gotta get up tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna head out.
All right. Well, we're just about to finish, so.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go at 3,000 gold.
Double checking.
For object of this rarity level, anything between 500 and 5,000 is usual. It's really up to you to decide if it should be closer to 500 or 5,000, depending on how powerful it is.
That. Wonder.
What are you looking for?
Oh, I'm doing my best to do some quick math.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6 there.
So meanwhile, Fisher, how do you react to all of this that's been happening right now? What are your thoughts about this?
Fisher's really confused about why Remy is still thinking about this and seems to be doing math instead of just going, I don't have that much money, which is what Fisher would be doing. I don't have anywhere near that much money.
Yeah, and Raimi.
Where does Remy have all this money from?
And then, I just barely have what I need for this.
No, you don't.
And so, Fisher, to your great shock and awe, I presume, Raimi pulls out a box.
Yeah, he's never seen it.
Sets it down on the counter.
And it looks heavy.
And then takes another bag of presumably gold and sets it on the counter. And then he takes out several gems and puts them on the counter.
Anything else? Feels like you could take out your underwear.
Just making sure if there's any other weird stuff in the inventory that I could give up instead of some of these things. But
Just making sure that there aren't gems on his underwear. So Fisher,
actually, yeah, there's some of this. Yeah, there's stuff in the that I could sell at a different time to get back what I'm selling at this
So
or buying at this point. But yeah, basically you just see him pull out a box, pull out a bag, and just put several gems on the counter.
you see,
And then like after like looking it over, like Raimi nods to himself and then looks up at the shop owner.
you see the gnome opening the bag. Interesting. See, there's a lot of money in it. Then he opens the box. And as he opens the box, you are bewildered by a box filled with platinum pieces. Interesting.
Kind of speechless.
He puts his finger inside of the box and just moves them around. It's platinum all the way through. Alright. Hold on. He takes an orb, puts it above it. We have... You see numbers in Gnomish appearing on the orb. Yeah, that about covers it. Alright. Next time you're in, just visit me and I'll have it.
Raimi gives a thumbs up and then probably just turns around to a bewildered Fisher.
Yeah.
And Jorg and audience.
Blinks.
Blink, blink. This can be an interesting moment to end the this episode, since we lost half of the
We'll
group.
go ahead and end it there, just so that everyone's involved.
So we're gonna come back with everyone. So as Remy pushes all of this gold on the counter and the gnome, all right, we got a deal. Camera just starts pulling away and fades to black. Then you hear the narrator's voice saying, "Next episode." All right. So, thank you to all of those who endured up to the last moment. Fatigue got the best. Fatigue got the best of half of our group, but hey, it's the advantages of playing online. When you know that there's not going to be anything else for you, you can leave. All right. Well, I hope you had a pleasant evening. I hope you learned a little bit more about the world and what is the next step in all of this. And we hope we'll see you next Wednesday. With friends, that would be nice if we get our followers. But yeah, so as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And I've said it often enough, and during this episode, follow us on Twitch. It helps a lot. You can also support the stream by making a donation. That also would help in a different way, but it would be extremely appreciated by me. Or becoming a Patreon. Or, of course, simply by spreading the word. Because if you keep watching us, it means you like us. And other people might like us. It's fun to do things with people that likes you. So, until then, see you all next Wednesday. Stay safe, and as always, with all the weird stuff and viruses and things like that going on right now, stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.